Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we're going to make a chocolate cake because I wanted a chocolate cake for no other reason than that. So, starts out like any cake, butter in the stand mixer, and we'll get that on and softening up. Okay, that looks pretty good. So we're gonna put brown sugar in now. Quite a bit of brown sugar in fact. And we'll cream together the butter and the brown sugar. While that's happening, I'll deal with the dry ingredients. One of the things that drew me to this recipe was that it had almond in it. It's from one of those baking publications where the whole recipe was in ridiculous fractions and extra spoons. So I've simplified the whole thing. But I've noticed in a lot of their recipes lately, they put in almond meal in almost everything. I don't know what it is, but I thought, oh, it might be interesting in this one because there's also almond extract. So, in the dry ingredients, almond meal, regular old flour, baking soda and baking powder, and some salt. And we'll give that a bit of a stir. And we also add in some cocoa powder. Get that stirred together. Okay, the butter and the brown sugar is pretty much creamed together, so I'm going to add in the eggs one at a time. Let that one mix in first before I put in the second one. I'm going to leave the mixer running while I melt the chocolate. So I've got dark chocolate, a sort of bittersweet Belgian chocolate, and I'm going to melt that in the microwave. Chocolate is melted, and it's not too warm. You don't want it to be hot. You know, it's one of those things where recipes say to melt the chocolate and then let it cool down, but they never really say what cool down means. And I think if you let it cool too far, it becomes too difficult to work later. But if it's too hot, sometimes the other ingredients don't agree with the mixture being too hot. So it's a game. You've got to use your judgment. That's not too hot. Not too hot at all. So we need a 1.75 cups of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk, use 3/4 cup of yogurt or sour cream and then make up the rest with regular milk. That works really well. A lot of people swear by buttermilk powder. I can never remember to buy it. I know it's out there. But it's not something I remember to buy or keep in the house. I like having buttermilk around. And I use it often enough that it never really goes bad. So we're going to mix the buttermilk into the chocolate. Looks like a mess. Definitely looks like a mess. I think next time I would heat the buttermilk before mixing it into the chocolate, or maybe melt the chocolate in the buttermilk. So put the buttermilk in the pot over pot of bubbling water or in the microwave like I did. I think that would mix together much better than it did. It's not too bad, but it's not great. So next in, this is almond extract to go with the almond flour. About that much. And of course vanilla. Get the vanilla in. Give it a stir. So our butter and sugar and egg mixture is looking fantastic. So we're going to scoop in some of our flour mixture. About that much. And then pour in some of the buttermilk mixture. And we'll just go back and forth until it's all mixed together. I've got 2 round cake pans that I have buttered and put a parchment disc in the bottom. These are, I don't know, 8, 9 inches. It'll be in the description down below for the recipe. And we just need to put the same amount-ish of cake batter in each one. I don't get overly distraught about making it exact. I know some people will put it on a scale and make sure they've got the same amount. That's your thing. Go right ahead. More power to you. I'm more of a let's guesstimate kind of guy. Okay, the oven's preheated to 350. We'll put them in until a cake tester, comes out clean. The time will be in the description box down below. I'm kind of on the fence about, about the almond and the cocoa powder. Not a huge fan of cocoa powder in chocolate cakes, but I push myself every once in a while to look and see if I'm going to find one. Jury's out. We'll find out what happens when they're cooked. See you in a little while. Okay, the cakes are out of the oven and they're cooling. I'm going to let them cool down completely, of course. So I've got a butter... It's a butter frosting, butter icing. So we've got butter and icing sugar, and I'm going to melt some chocolate. But first, we'll get the butter in, get it creaming and softened up. Get that going. We need to melt some chocolate. So same chocolate I used in the cake. I'm going to take that inside and get it melted. Chocolate is melted. Butter's looking pretty good, so we'll scrape it down and we'll add in the powdered sugar, the icing sugar. What do you call it where you live? This is superfine powdered icing sugar. It has cornstarch in it to keep it from clumping. That's kind of what differentiates it here based on what it's called. But I know that it's called different things in different places, has different formulations in different places. I put that all in, and we'll get that mixing slowly at first. We also need to add in some salt, so put that in now. I will sometimes switch to a wire whisk at this point, and sometimes I'll leave it with the paddle. What do you do when you're making a frosting or an icing or whatever you prefer to call it? So, vanilla and a little bit of almond extract so that we can sort of match the flavor profile of what's going on in the cake. I'm going to be careful with the almond extract. Having tasted the cake batter, I think I put too much almond in, or too much for me. I like almond. I do like almond, but I don't know that I'm going to like it in this cake. I'm still reserving judgment. And now we'll pour in the chocolate and get it mixed in. So the chocolate has chilled down quite a bit. It's not as hot as it was when I first got it out of the microwave, because you don't want to put it in here and melt the butter. So we'll get this in. I'll have to scrape down the sides of this bowl several times because I can see that there's still places where the chocolate hasn't mixed in. And I'm going to whip it pretty well. I'm going to really get this mixed together. Okay, so I'm going to stick this in the fridge now until the cake has completely cooled down and we can move on to the next job, which is icing the cake. Always my favorite part of this type of cake recipe. Okay, cake is cooled. Icing, frosting is cooled. I'm now going to do the part of every iced cake I absolutely hate, and that is putting the icing on. And I'm pretty much someone who's just like, get it on. However you can get the icing or frosting onto your cake, just make it happen. So, I don't know how much of this I'm going to bore you with. I may show you like 10 seconds and then magically cut to me cutting the cake open when Julie gets home.
Oh my goodness. Hey friends. Hey Glenn. That is a really big slice of cake.
It is a really big slice of cake. But, you know, another masterful frosting.
I am actually, is something special going on that we have frosting? Like that's, or was it, you know, a little bit low?
Well, yeah. I know, we don't get frosting very often, do we?
That's okay.
So it's a chocolate cake, because, you know, why not?
Yep. It's chocolate cake.
It's moist.
It's chocolatey.
It's chocolatey. It's rich. I don't taste the almond extract.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so there's almond, a little bit of almond, ground almond, and almond extract in it. And it's not coming through. I was worried it was going to come through too strong because when I licked the beater, that's all I got was almond.
Did you
But
see his face when he told me that?
but after, I don't get it. I don't get the almond at all. And it could be in the background doing something. You never know with flavors what's doing something in the background. Mm-hmm. There is chocolate and cocoa in it. And I do taste the cocoa. I am not a big fan of cocoa. But it is an excellent chocolate cake.
See how he scooped that out of the bottom. You're funny. Mm-hmm. No, I could definitely, I mean, I'm going to finish it. So, you know, it's not going to be a problem.
Someone set that down in front of me at the end of a dinner party. Cup of tea. I'd plow through that. Someone put
As we're doing right now.
a bunch of candles on the top of that for my birthday. Oh,
Oh.
No more birthdays. No, I'm not having any more birthdays.
Oh, you stopped?
I've stopped.
Okay.
27 forever. It's a good cake. If you like chocolate, that's a really good cake. It's got all the chocolate things that you need. Okay.
That's all.
Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.